Hello everyone, Charles Watts here. Welcome back to Inside Arsenal. It is Wednesday. It is match day. The Champions League is back. Arsenal taking on Monaco a little bit later on today at the Emirates. I'll be heading up there. I'm in the press box today. So if you can't make the game and you're looking on social media for live updates, I'll be doing all the usual stuff from there. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Of course, we're going to talk about this game in today's show. We're going to look at what Mikel Arteta's had to say. More injury issues, especially in defence for Arsenal. I'm sure you've all seen who wasn't in training yesterday. The usual suspects, but then also the likes of Jurriën Timber and Thomas Partey also not involved. Doesn't, of course, mean they're not going to feature tonight, but they are significant doubts. So we'll look at what Mikel Arteta had to say about them. He's opened up a lot more than he usually does on Gabriel, on Calafiori, on Miles Lewis-Skelly as well. So he's given some quite interesting injury updates on those players. We'll do the predicted 11. Look at what a couple of you guys have been saying about that. He's talked about the transfer window. So there is plenty to get stuck into on what is a really big match day, crucial match day in terms of the Champions League for Arsenal. Win this game, and they are right within sort of touching distance of a top 8 finish. I think three wins from their remaining 3 games in the Champions League. I think that will be job done. They'll be in the top 8, no doubt about it. This is on paper anyway the hardest of the 3 that are left. Monaco are right around them in the league table. They've had a good start in the league domestically as well. Going to be a difficult challenge. So Arsenal are going to have to be very, very good, and they're going to have to be very, very tight in defence, which might not be easy considering some of the players that they have got out today. So, well, could have out today. Now, of course, we know there was no, in training yesterday, in the open training session, there was no Calafiori, no Zinchenko, no Gabriel, who all missed the game against Fulham at the weekend. Obviously, there's no Tomiyasu, no Ben White, who've been out for a while with the knee injuries, not going to be back for a while. But the more worrying aspect of it was there was no Jurriën Timber and there was no Thomas Partey. Now, of course, Arsenal's remaining final 2 right-back options. Even Josh Nichols wasn't around because of an injury as well. Another of the young right-back options, which could be an issue. So, I mean, again, that doesn't mean they're not going to play. They're apparently were inside doing their own sort of training programs, which if there was any sort of doubt over them, then you know, it makes sense maybe to not risk them in the training session. Missing one training session, that doesn't mean they wouldn't be able to play in a game. Still perfectly fit, still, you know, and match sharp and stuff. If it's a case of just giving them a day off to rest their legs ahead of the game tonight, that might be what the deal is. Mikel said we have to manage a lot of the players, so they're probably not going to be fit tomorrow and are a doubt. I still have 24 hours to make those decisions and hopefully the right ones. On dealing with all the injuries, he says it is what it is. At the end, we have to accept the challenge and opportunities for other players to do that. In the ideal scenario, we have to change. We have to be in charge to make those decisions because it's forcing us to make it for the wrong reasons. But as well, we need to accept the reality and move forwards. Now, he's actually added more in the embargo section of the press conference that went live at 10:30 last night. He spoke more on Calafiori, on Gabriel and Lewis-Skelly have all been missing recently. Lewis-Skelly was, of course, back in the squad for the game against Fulham. So on Calafiori, he said, we need a cage there because he wants to go out, train and play. We need to calm him down because he is so willing. It is the way he is, the way he plays. It started with the national team with a kick. Then he had the knee issue. And after that, he lost a lot of things because of the injuries. He had to play more than we wanted. And then he's got the issue in the groin. On Gabriel, he said, Big Gabby has not had a muscular injury before, but he is playing a lot now. He is traveling, going to Brazil. He is a starter for Brazil. So that's why he reckons he might have picked up a muscle injury for the first time. On Lewis-Skelly, he said, I love his personality. He's got a presence on the pitch, that leadership. He's fearless. He takes the ball. He's really competitive. I think he can adapt really well to what we want. The issue that we had is he had an infection in his foot, and that caused him to miss a few games. He looks better now. He's been in training for a week or so, and he's in a good place. He's a player that can give us a lot. So some interesting stuff there, I thought, in terms of the injuries. Definitely on Gabriel, I think that's probably quite a valid point. The sheer amount of games he's playing now with the internationals, the fact he is now a starter for Brazil and he's going and playing the full 90 minutes with his country, all that traveling. He's not really had to do that before. And maybe it is just his body adjusting a little bit. But I think Mikel's right when he points out all of the injuries that Arsenal have had, especially in defence, and the fact that they just can't really rotate and, you know, manage the load on these players because they're all having to play because there's so many players who are injured that it's not been easy. It's not been an easy situation that Arsenal are trying to navigate through at the moment, and we'll see what happens today in terms of the starting lineup. But if there is no Partey and there is no Timber or even Josh Nichols, then quite what they're going to do, you'd imagine maybe Declan Rice at right back, maybe. I don't. It's a really hard call, so we'll have to wait and see what he does on those situations. Oh, sorry, I forgot I was supposed to flick to that picture when I was doing the Calafiori and Gabriel chat. But on Tierney, who obviously spoke about in yesterday's video, asked whether there's an opportunity for Tierney now to come back into the team. He said, yeah, he's ready. He's training really well, and he's going to have an opportunity for sure for the way with the way the team is looking at the moment. It's for that reason, and because he's earned it as well with the way he's behaved and the way he's been with us, because he's willing to do it. And when that happens, you have to give opportunities to those kind of players. He spoke more about Tierney again in the embargoed section. I thought this was quite interesting what he said here. I think this is kind of a reason why we've maybe not been seeing Kieran Tierney as well. So he said when he was asked about Tierney and potentially playing him and how he would play him, he said, I would put Kieran more in his strengths. If we do what we have to do, I would play him in positions, especially in attack, in situations and scenarios and spaces that he is more comfortable with. It is about the player having certain qualities. First, is he willing to do it? Does he want to do it? Yes or no? The other one is he capable of doing it? And does he understand it? When a player has those ingredients, anything can happen. We see that with many other players, but if a player doesn't really feel it, it is more of a problem. And we as coaches have to find solutions. We will adapt, especially we have the ability within the unit to adapt to his qualities and of others to play in different positions. I don't see it as a problem. So the way he's saying there, we might have to adapt to his qualities. It's like, we're going to have to play a different way if we play Kieran Tierney in this team. It's kind of what I feel like Mikel Arteta is saying there, which again might be a little bit of a sort of insight into why he seems a little bit reluctant to use Kieran Tierney at the moment, even with all these injury issues. It'll be interesting to see who starts at left back tonight. I'll get to my predicted 11 in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Tierney could even be an option at right back. You know, I'm trying to wonder if he's ever played that position before. I've got a sneaky feeling way back when Arsenal had some injury issues that maybe Arsenal have used him as right back before. Can't remember. But it feels like he has. He also talked about the injuries and why they keep happening. He talked about it being a knock-on effect, again, of just some bad tackles that have affected the joint issues of some of Arsenal's players, but also the sheer amount of games and the inability Arteta has had to be able to rotate players because Tomiyasu's been missing, White's been missing, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, some interesting stuff for once. More open than usual, I thought, Arteta, when it comes to the injury issues. On Monaco, he said, really impressed, really good side. You see the run they've been on in the Champions League and in the league, especially against top opposition. So they're a real threat, a team that is superbly well organised, really intense, really good in transition as well, and with a lot of quality. So it is going to be a very good test for us, and it will be a good test for Arsenal. I'm absolutely expecting it will be on Gabriel Jesus and his mentality at the moment. He said, like all strikers, they go in phases and moments, and that gap is becoming big. It's true that obviously a lot of things has happened, injuries, absences of not playing or starting games that much, but his attitude has been really good. It always is, and we're going to try and help him overcome the situation as soon as possible. Certainly needs to overcome the situation as soon as possible because, as Mikel said, that gap in terms of his last goal in the Premier League, 21 games, I think it is now, half a season, that is just too much. He was asked about the rumours that Arsenal are willing to sell Jesus in January. I've spoken about those on recent videos, all those reports coming out of Brazil. And Mikel, kind of as I said, he just said simply, no, it makes no sense in terms of potential move for Gabriel Jesus. In terms of the actual transfer window that is coming up, Mikel said the window gives us an opportunity to strengthen the team if we feel it is needed and we feel that we have the capacity to do that. We are on it and just have to assess the situation because it's changing every week. At the moment, not for the better, but I'm positive that in a few weeks, we're going to be in a better place. I think when you look at those comments there about the transfer window, that sort of last line is quite important, you know, saying that they are on it and they are looking at it. This is what when I go back to my understanding of this window, is it'll be a proactive one a reactive one rather than a proactive one. So it kind of depends on the what's happening with the squad and all that sort of stuff. When he says at the moment it's not changing for the better, he means that the injury situation is not changing for the better. If anything, it's going worse. But he says, I'm positive that in a few weeks, we're going to be in a better place. So if Arsenal suddenly have all their players back and all their defenders back, are they going to go and do something to sort of react to the shape of their squad? I'm not so sure. And I know all of us want more strikers or more attackers to arrive and to bolster the attacking options. Again, as I've always felt, I still feel that's more likely in the summer than in January. I'm not saying it won't happen in January. I still feel the more likely option that if Arsenal are going to significantly improve their attacking options, they will probably look to wait until the summer before they can do that. Right, let's go through the predicted 11 then for today. This is what I've gone for. Now, again, this is a real sort of shot in the dark. I have to say, I don't know yet in terms of who's going to be available, who might have travelled to the team hotel. Maybe that'll start to emerge as the day goes ahead. By the time I'm recording this, I don't know yet. I have gone for Partey at right back. I feel like if there's a doubt over Timber and Partey, I think he would probably go with Partey just because Timber's so important. If there's any sort of doubt over Timber, I don't think you can risk him here because you just have no other options to play as a right back. You need to keep Timber fit. So if there's any sort of issue with him, any sort of concern, you protect him. You don't play him in this game, in my view. So I've gone Partey at right back, obviously Raya in goal, Saliba and Kivior as the centre backs. I'm going Lewis Skelly at left back over Tierney. I just feel that Lewis Skelly's part of his long-term plans a lot more than Kieran Tierney is. I think that is very, very obvious. So if they're both fit, I think he'll probably start with Lewis Skelly there. We've already seen what he had to say about him in build up to this game. He's a young player that he really, really likes, and he sees him as a long-term. Has long-term potential at Arsenal. So I feel like he does it. And maybe he will play Tierney at right back and Lewis Skelly at left back. We'll have to wait and see on that. But for the predicted 11 that I'm going for, Partey, Saliba, Kivior, Lewis Skelly in defence, then Rice as the 6, Odegaard and Marino in midfield, and then I'm going Saka, Havertz and Martinelli. Again, I was quite tempted to put Jesus as a striker and for him to... I was just looking at what's he going to do. He knows how important it is to try and get Jesus into some sort of confident mood. And the only way he's going to do that is by playing more, maybe scoring a couple of goals or feeling good about himself. And so I wonder if he might play him in this game. I've gone for Havertz, but I wouldn't be overly shocked if we got there and Jesus played up front. So my predicted 11 for tonight's game: Raya in goal, Partey, Saliba, Kivior, Lewis Skelly, Rice, Odegaard, Marino, Saka, Havertz and Martinelli. A few guys getting in touch. Tata at the top says, "Hi Charles, I'm sending this comment after open training has been filmed, assuming all the absences from training don't recover for tomorrow. We absolutely need to play Kieran Tierney. Your 11 is Raya, Nichols, Saliba, Kivior, Tierney, Odegaard, Rice, Marino, Saka, Havertz and Martinelli." I don't think Nichols is fit. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he said something about Nichols. I'm not sure I can find it, and it's going to take too long to scramble through. But I've got a feeling he admitted that Josh Nichols was a doubt as well. So I'm not sure he'll be fit to play right back. Vet Para comes in and says, "Think it's really apparent that playing a right-footed left back, left centre midfield, and left wing in the same side has hurt the left-hand side. Although the left-hand side has been an issue since Xhaka left, I think there are a couple of slight tweaks that would help. Left wing, we're going to have to play a right-footed player regardless. But if Timber is playing at left back, I think Martinelli is better at staying wide than Trossard. Left centre mid, really want to see Marino get a good run out during the rest of December. Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see how Arteta uses Marino over the coming weeks. I have to say, left back, think Arteta has Liverpool scars on combining MLS and Kivior. It's a good point. For MLS, I think we could need Rice at 6 and possibly Big Gabby back. If we can half sort out the left-hand side, Timber moves back to the right, and that makes us so much more dangerous." Gone to Flo Balaguer. I can't read what that last bit is there for some reason. I've got something over it on the screen. Let me have a look. You say Partey has been one of our 3 best midfielders this year, but I'm not sure that Partey, Rice, Odegaard midfield is better balanced than Rice, Marino, Odegaard, especially given the constraints around our fullback. So thank you very much for that. And there, Flo Balogun. Obviously, we were hoping, or some people were maybe hoping, to see him back at the Emirates for the first time following his move from Arsenal to Monaco. That's not going to happen. It was confirmed at Monaco's press conference last night that he has had to undergo surgery for a shoulder issue. So Balogun has not travelled and will not be available, which will be a blow to him. I'm sure he would have wanted to play this game, and I'm sure some Arsenal fans would like to have seen him in the Monaco side tonight to see how he is getting on over there. But no Flo Balogun tonight. We'll wait and see how many Arsenal players join him on the sidelines. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it is not as bad as it certainly looked in open training session and yesterday at Arsenal, and Mikel Arteta was playing it a little bit safe. So we shall wait and see on that. Like I said, I'm going to be at the game later on, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I don't think I'll be doing a video straight after the game. It's just going to get a little bit too late by the time the full-time whistle goes to do that. So I'll be doing the full reaction show as usual tomorrow. You want to get involved in that, come back after the full-time whistle to this video, get into the comments, leave me your thoughts on what you've seen in the game, who impressed you, who didn't impress you. I'll pull them all together as usual and get them included in tomorrow's review show, which will feature all the usual stuff, including, of course, my Arsenal player rating. So thanks for watching, everyone. Have a very good day. Enjoy the game later. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.